I'm Steve Sapato, and you're listening to The Happiness Agenda, where we help you and other people find ways to be happier, healthier, have better opportunities, and get stronger in your lives. Today, I have the great pleasure of having a wonderful lady on, Carol Register, and she wants to help you grow your mind. Are you interested in growing your mind? I hope so. Carol, are you there?
I'm here. Hi, Steve.
Yay. Hi, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm great. Is that a beach behind you? Is that what that is? A beach behind you?
It is, yeah.
Yeah. Well, you're not at a beach though, because I know you're in Orlando and there's no beaches in Orlando.
Yeah, it's just my reminder.
I like that. I like it.
Yeah.
But you just got back from a big vacation or something, didn't you?
I did. Yeah, it was combo business and pleasure. I went to Vienna, Munich, and Zurich. Yeah.
Nice. That's really nice. That's one of those where at one point in time in my life, I said, "Hey, I'd like to go to Europe, and I'd like to do this." And now it's more like I got so much in the United States I want to see. I
Yeah.
think I'll just stay here for a while and see what happens.
Yeah, there's a
But
lot of the world to visit, right?
oh man, that's just it. There's so many things to see. I mean, the one thing about Europe is everything is old. I mean, what they call new is old to us. I mean,
Yeah.
so theirs is only like 500 years old is their new stuff sometimes, and we're like, what? They go, yeah, we have 5,000-year-old stuff in Europe. I go, that's just silly. Just tear it down, start over, and uh, but we better get to it. We better get to it. So tell us a little bit about you, would you?
I would love to. I am a certified master neurocoach, an international multi business owner, and global investor. And I love helping people along with my business partner, Alex Leanne, to know how to have more time and money, more productivity and wealth without burnout.
I like that. More time and more money. Who would like more time over money? Raise your hand. You guys weren't faster than me. I was faster than you. But that's it, isn't it? We all and I do a lot of things, but people spend their money on programs and gimmicks and gadgets and all kinds of things that promise, hey, I promise that you'll be able to make $100,000 a month if you take my program or learn my method. And you're like,
Yeah.
no, that's not how the world works. You have
No.
to still do business a certain way, right?
That's right. Yeah, no income claims. A big part of coaching is and having a mentor is your willingness to do the work and to be committed to the process because there's no way I can make a claim about your results. Now, I know the proven neuroscience of the work I do. I got testimonials and oodles of transformations, but it's a partnership when you're investing in yourself, and that's
Well,
really important to remember.
let's pause here a second. You say neuroscience, like we all know what it is. Like we all know neuro. We're like that has to do with our brain, doesn't it? Isn't my neuro? But
It
what is
does.
neuroscience? I mean, is that what Tony Robbins practices? Is that what Oprah practice? What is neuroscience?
Neuroscience is the study of the brain and the science around the brain and the whole nervous system. And the way that it is applied in neurocoaching, in the type of neurocoaching that I do, the certification I received was with a wonderful woman named Dr. Shannon Irvin. She has her PhD in neuropsychology. And neuroscience is complex. Our brains are very sophisticated. What I love is that the process we use is childlike simple. And
Oh, cool.
that's what
So,
matters when we're going to rewire our thoughts. So one of the
oh,
things that
rewiring. That's what. So all
yeah,
this is back to if I got the wrong here, the way I understand it, if I've got the wrong mental attitude, I'm probably not going to achieve my goals. Is that what that's all about?
it is all about that. The truth is though, what's helpful about learning the neuroscience is when you understand how our brains are designed, how they're wired, and then you're not fighting against mindset. We can't outperform our subconscious, and our brains are wired to keep us safe, not make us successful. And the reason that's important is because we get on this. We've had a high level of success, and all of a sudden we find ourselves stuck again, standing in our own way. We're on the start-stop cycle. And frankly, in coaching out there, especially with the popularity of mindset coaching, a lot of it is just plain wrong, in terms of it contradicts the way our brains work. The brain is doing its job when it's keeping you safe, right? Because its job is to protect this beautiful automated system we have, the subconscious. And the reason for that is because we think too many thoughts per day. We couldn't even lift our heads off the pillow if we didn't have this automated system. And I'll give you a quick example. You don't go to tie your shoes and think, oh, I have to take this lace in this hand. I have to take this lace in this hand. I need to cross them over and go under.
But we
No,
did at one point in time, right?
that's right. When
But
you
now we
learned
don't.
it, now you don't. It's automated. Because you've repeated
Yeah.
it so many times, you can
That's a
sit
good
down.
point. I never thought of stuff being automated. I mean, you
Mhm.
say, "Oh, I do that automatically without thinking about it," but you don't
Yeah.
think about it being automated.
Mm-mm.
So
No,
that's not just our shoelaces, though. That's what we do in life, right?
that's right. And one of the things that's important to know in regard to increasing your time and your money without burnout is we start to operate by the automated thoughts we have. And the majority of those came from our childhood. Over 90% of our limiting beliefs and our success, too, came from our childhood. Our brains are always automating, but there were underlying stories that we got when we were absorbing things in that learning stage, brain development stage, that aren't serving us now, you know. And one
Like
example
what?
is
Yeah.
a money story. So
Okay.
maybe you heard all the time, money doesn't grow on trees. Maybe you heard, we don't have any money. Um, what
Oh.
we can't afford that. Well, you think I'm made of money? Those,
I think that isn't that didn't everybody grow up like that? When only
yeah,
the richy rich grew up another way. All the rest of us grew up knowing that. It's like, hey, money is not easy to get, right?
right, right. So we grew up with this attitude of scarcity,
Oh,
not of
yeah.
abundance.
That's a good
And
point. You don't think about that. You don't think about all the stuff. And I'm one of those who I preach it all the time. I go, you're infected, not just affected. You're infected by all the stuff around you. Like when people say, "Well, I don't listen to TV. I just have it on in the background." I go, "You understand how much it's infecting you with negatives? Every commercial says you're not good enough unless you use our product. You don't smell good
yeah,
enough. You don't look good enough. You don't have enough of anything if you don't use our products." And
that's right.
people say, "Well, that doesn't affect me because I'm not paying any attention to it." Was that how that works?
No, it's a great point. You're right on with what you're saying because our brains automate all the time. And it takes 67 times to repeat something to automate it. So, a big part of the work that my partner and I do is we take you through a simple 4-step process so that you can uncover these limiting beliefs. And why is that important? Because not only did you absorb the majority of them from your childhood, you also are making up to now, they're saying with the recent neuroscience studies, you're making as many as 97% of your daily decisions from what's in your subconscious. So
Wow.
that's the brain working correctly. Like I said, you can sit down and tie your shoes while you're talking to somebody.
Yeah.
Um, you know, it's not a big deal. It's automated. You don't have to think through every step. And it's so what happens then is we start making decisions that aren't getting us the results that we want. We get frustrated, we get overwhelmed, we get tired. We
We say it
start to
wasn't
be
meant it wasn't meant to be.
it wasn't
That's
meant to
not who I
be.
am, right?
Yeah. It's not
If I
meant
was
for
supposed to
me.
have this,
Yeah.
God would have given it to me or something like that, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and we blame God a lot.
Well,
Yeah.
God should be blamed. Otherwise, God would have put a winning lottery ticket on my desk the other day.
You know what? He did actually put a winning lottery ticket
Yeah,
on your desk. It's right here. It's right here.
that's it.
And the interesting thing is, from a Christian perspective, there's a lot in the Bible that backs this up. There's a proverb that says, "As a man thinks, so is he."
Oh yeah,
It says we're given everything we need for life and godliness. All things are possible with God. Think on praiseworthy and excellent things. I could go on, right? From
good
the
point.
neuroscience
Right.
perspective, um, he gave us we are made in his image. He gave us the ability to co-create with him, and you're sitting in the place that you're sitting right now, doing what you're doing right now, because of the thoughts you had, and from that, the choices you made.
That's right. But people can direct us, right? I mean, we've spent
Mhm.
our whole life listening to people who direct us. I mean,
Yeah.
I've said for decades, our education system is messed up because all of our teachers directed us to do two things: stay within the lines, right, so
Yeah.
we could be controlled, and learn how to get a job, not become an entrepreneur, and not to learn how to do big business, and certainly not know how to do many of the things we should be learning, because they are unlimited thought is also, what is it? Uncontrollable many times, especially for young, right?
It it can seem that way, and you're speaking into something that's so powerful and important. We're not taught um, the power that we have when we're young, and a lot of people view power through a negative lens, through this, controlling, suppressing power. But the real power that we have is to create, and we have way more power to create our realities than we realize. And when we're growing up, we're taught to rely on the approval of others. It starts with our parents. We want our parents' approval. We want, our teachers' approval. We maybe church, maybe peers, maybe neighbors, maybe extended family members. It goes on and on. And we're often not taught that we are powerful beings, and we're growing and learning, and that we can train our minds, just like we train our muscles, right?
So what do, like, so what should someone do? Let's say they've been saying their whole lives, well, my life is just a disaster. My life's a mess.
Yeah.
I'm just not happy. I'll probably never find happiness. What should we do if we're those people? I mean, how can we fix that?
That's a wonderful question. And when we're repeating those thoughts to ourselves, I want to be really, really clear. We all do it. None of us gets away without repeating those kind of things to ourselves. But we can change the process. So, just a brief little thing that I want to share with you, especially in regard to being on the busy bus, being in burnout, being in that cycle,
The
is
busy bus. I like that. The busy bus.
yeah, the busy bus and the burnout bus, right? Is we get this idea that, we have to grind it out and work hard. And in fact, that's shared quite often. And we're not taught to listen to ourselves, trust ourselves, and the power that we've been gifted with. Our gifts, we come with a purpose that matters. And so we get to rewire those neural networks of those repeated limiting beliefs that we've brought forward with us. And we tend to base our current success on what happened in the past, rather than what our true potential is and who we truly are. So, working on the deeper level of, helping people to stop with the burnout bus and start living a life of intention. Stop living by default. Stop living as I just have to react to everything that comes, and start being intentional and purposeful about your life, is one of my favorite things. So back to those neural networks. When you're automating, you're laying down a neural network in your brain. And those limiting beliefs, if they're repeated over time, become super highways, right? Like, I can't make enough money. I don't have enough time. It's just not possible. All of these things that we say to ourselves, but they're not true. So, the first step to answer your question in starting the rewiring process that we do is to recognize those limiting beliefs, those automated negative thoughts. Have an
So how do I mean?
awareness of them.
Most of us don't know. We don't know. We don't know. How do we become
Right.
aware of those things?
It's
Do we
great. It's a
record
great
ourselves?
question. But you know what? One of the bridges is when you are going to do anything new, the brain perceives that as unsafe. That's why we get so uncomfortable when we grow, because the brain's job is
Sure.
to keep us safe, not make us successful.
That's
So
right.
just like we have to train our muscles, if I never picked up a bag of groceries in my life, my muscles would be south for the winter. They'd decay and atrophy. Same with our brains. We get to train our brains. And one of the ways we do that is by participating with the way the brain is wired and recognizing that we are going to be uncomfortable when we're growing. So it gets really exciting. I can tell you, I could go on and blast you with so much information, but it's really just starting to have an awareness. And back to how do I do that?
Yeah.
When you start to do something that is new, that is not familiar, it's not in your comfortable zone, your brain's going to get uncomfortable. So take that brave, courageous step to do something new today, and your brain's going to start firing all the reasons why you shouldn't. It's a bridge. It's a bridge to what's wired in your subconscious. When those limiting beliefs start firing, write them down. Don't push them down or stuff past them,
But you're
because
not. But you're usually not thinking about them at that time, right?
mm-mm.
So let me ask you a question.
Yeah,
Um, um, have you written a book?
not yet.
Okay. If I'm somebody out there who's saying, "Man, my life has to change. I really want my life to change."
Yeah.
Do you have one step like read this book to start the process? Do you have a
I
book
have a
that's your favorite?
whole I have a whole 6-month program my business partner and I do called the Diamond Transformation Program.
Okay.
And we take you through, hold your hand, guide you in exactly how you get to do this work. And the transformations are phenomenal. Reach out to me, I'll share the testimonials. It's unbelievable. And I walk this walk too. I use these
Okay.
tools every
You say
day.
reach out to me. How do people reach out to you?
You can reach out to me. Well, first and foremost, an easy way is through my partner and I's podcast, Unleashed and Unstoppable. And we have show notes and we have the ways to contact us right there in the podcast. And you can also, I do you have a place that I could post a link? I could post a
Do you have? Let's see. If you want to put it in the comments, I think we have a
comments.
comment section. Put it there, and I will post it out. How's that?
Actually, I'll share an easier way.
Okay.
We have the Unleashed and Unstoppable podcast. We
Okay.
have Unleashed dot unstoppable dot you on Instagram.
Wait. Unleashed dot
Dot mhm,
unstoppable
unstoppable
dot
dot you
you or you
you
you. Go ahead.
on
Is that the end?
Instagram. That's our handle. Yeah, Unleashed dot
Oh,
unstoppable dot you. You can DM me there. You can also DM me through our business page on Facebook, which is also
does
Unleashed.
that look?
And
Does that look like it?
that's it. That's it.
Okay.
And Carol Register on LinkedIn.
Carol registered. Now spell that for us, please.
It's Carol, like a Christmas carol, and register, just like I'm registering for something.
which is Regester.
It's REG, like golf, ISTER.
I must not have spelled it that way. But that's important that there's some people who are going to only listen to this, and there's some people who are going to watch it. So like Carol can be spelled with an E, but yours is spelled Carol, and
Yeah,
register is Register, right?
that's right.
Carol Register. And
Yeah.
so they find you on Amazon, you said Instagram that way?
That's right.
Okay. How
Yeah,
about
that's
LinkedIn? Are
and
you on
just
LinkedIn?
I'm on LinkedIn as Carol Register.
Okay.
Yeah. And I would love for you to reach out. I'd be happy to share with you what we do, see how we can serve you and help you in rewiring your thoughts, rewiring your limiting beliefs to your success beliefs. This is the process, but Alex, Leanne, and I also teach principles of time and wealth so that you can learn to think like the wealthy think instead of back in those old money stories.
Okay. So what we want to do is if you want to change your life, I mean, this is the happiness agenda. It's all about life changing. It's all about doing something that moves you forward. And if you say, man, I would love to be wealthy.
Yeah.
Well, what are you doing about it right now? And the answer might be nothing, or I've been trying for 10 years and I'm not getting anywhere. Well, how about you just get a hold of Carol? You can do it on unleashed.unstoppable.you on Instagram, or you can get a hold of her, Carol Register, on Instagram. And you know what? She doesn't charge you to ask her questions. She doesn't charge you to start the process. And sometimes what we do is that first, what is it? They say the first step
Is the
can lead you
hardest.
is the hardest. Well, certainly the
Yeah.
hardest because most people are afraid. We're afraid. But yeah, but if I reach out to her, she's going to want to sell me something. And the answer is, well, yeah, duh, right? But not right away. You see, that's
Yeah.
important. Is that if we talk to you, and that's true with what I do and what she does, if we talk to you, we're not trying to sell you as much as we want to help you. And if one or two conversations gets you moving, maybe a year from now, I've had people a year later call me up and go, Steve, I'm ready.
Yeah.
Good, let's put it together. And that's the name of the game because what we want to do is help you get started. Like any person, if I say, okay, I want to run a race, I'm going to run, the 26-mile marathon. Well, you're not going to go out and start running a marathon tomorrow. You're going to
Yeah.
run a quarter of a mile, then you're going to run a half mile, and then you're going to be running 5Ks and then 10Ks. And then eventually you'll get to that. That's the same thing with changing your life. And
Yeah.
that's what Carol wants to help you do. So um, reach out, Carol Register, and say, hey, I have a question for you. Right, Carol?
I would love to answer your questions. And it is about serving you and making sure that we're a good fit. Because if I'm not the one if you don't resonate with my voice, then
Get
you
out.
aren't going to move forward in the way that you need to.
That's right. We want you
And
to get out.
or
That's
what to exactly. And I want to tell you, it's also a matter though of when we have enrollment available. We happen to have it right now, but we don't have it open all the time because we take you through a process to empower you with a community of people who are doing the same kind of work. And we do also have one-on-one available, but the group, when you're surrounded with people who are committed to the same kind of process you are to get from here to there, it's so powerful. It really is. You guys get to just surround each other and support each other, and we foster that. We nurture that within our groups because we've seen the power of that. And so I would love to talk with you, see if I can help you, if I can serve you, if I'm what you're looking for, and tell you what our process is.
A lot of times when we talk about these kind of things, we say, I would love to be the person you choose. But like you say, there have been times when we just haven't meshed. I haven't meshed with
Mhm.
somebody and we just like personalities don't click. So you have to say, I don't think I can help you, but try so and so or try so and so. And we will refer you to other people who we
Yeah.
think will make a difference in your life because our first and foremost thing is to help you. We want to help you change your life. They say inch by inch, anything's a cinch. And so we want you to inch forward here, and we want you to reach out to Carol. So if you don't belong on Instagram, any other way they can get a hold of you, Carol?
You can get a hold of me on LinkedIn, Carol Register on LinkedIn. You can come into DM me on Facebook at Carol Register. That's my personal, or Unleashed and Unstoppable You business page. So there's lots of ways to get a hold of me. I'm on Twitter. You can get a hold of me there.
You can tweet her. And
So
you better tweet her right? I see how I did that.
I love it. It's really one of the things that is so cool about my business partner and I is that we each bring different skills to the table of our program. So one of the things we do to work together is not just give you the long-term wins or the temporary wins. And that's what we see in a lot of programs. They're symptom-based, not source-based. We are source based, and we help you get the quick wins because you need that motivation. You need that reward. The brain is wired for reward. And we help you to have the long-term ongoing tools so that those quick wins are sustainable and continue to grow over time.
That's fantastic. We're getting here to the end. 30 minutes goes by so fast when we have fun things to talk about, interesting things. And so I want you all to reach out to Carol. This is one of those things where no matter what, I don't care how good you think you are, sometimes just a word or phrase can help you and change what you're doing so that you get even more out of your life. And that's what the happiness agenda is all about, is helping you get more. And that's why I brought Carol on, because we've had a couple conversations. We met, we had coffee. We liked each other's personalities, we got along with each other, and we believe in each other. And that's huge when you make that connection with somebody. So I want you to start believing in yourself enough just to reach out to one of us. I'm Steve at stevesapato.com if you haven't figured that out already. But reach out to Carol Register. And you can reach out to me at the same place as Steve Sapato. We don't hide it. So many people put different weird names on different, like their Instagram is, Bob's belly button on backwards or something. You're like, who's that, right? We put our name out there because we live by our reputations. And that's important you understand that when you reach out to Carol, she wants to make a difference with you and your life, and her partner will certainly do that for you. Any last words that you want to share with us, Carol, before we wrap this up?
Thank you so much for having me, Steve. I really appreciate it. And I'm super excited to be working with you and just joining you in this. And guys, collaborate, man. It's the most amazing thing ever, ever. And please give me a call. I'm excited to serve you. I'm excited to help you out, help you rewire your brain and get off that burnout cycle while you're increasing your time and wealth. And the cool part is, a rising tide raises all boats. That was a saying by John F. Kennedy. So when you go to work in any one area of your life, all areas start to grow. So
fantastic.
Thank you for having me.
Fantastic. Hey, my pleasure, Carol. And if you guys need anything else from us, you certainly know how to reach out to us. But we want you to join us. So remember to click the button and subscribe to the Happiness Agenda. And I look forward to sharing more with you and helping you change your life. And if you have any questions about your life, reach out. We'll be happy to help you. God bless.
Yeah.